Some of the smartest people you know will stay broke their entire lives. They read the books. They listen to the finance podcasts. They understand investing, budgeting, all of it. And yet, their bank account barely changes. Why? Because the same habits that make someone academically smart can quietly sabotage their money. Overthinking every decision. Waiting for the perfect plan. Consuming knowledge, but delaying action. And the dangerous part? It feels responsible. It looks productive. But it slowly keeps wealth out of reach. In this video, you'll see the hidden behaviors that trap intelligent people financially. And the first one is especially dangerous. Because most smart people are proud of it, without realizing it's the habit that delays their wealth the most. A lot of smart people walk around with a head full of financial education, but their bank account tells a different story. They've watched dozens of videos about personal finance, read books about finance tips, and bookmarked threads about how to make money online. But nothing really changes because knowledge stays stuck in the brain instead of moving into real life. It's like someone binge-watching cooking shows but never turning on the stove. In financial psychology, that gap between knowing and doing is where most wealth quietly slips away. Think about how this shows up in everyday life. Someone reads about index funds, hears experts talk about companies like Apple or Microsoft, and thinks, yeah, that makes sense. Then weeks pass, nothing happens. No brokerage account, no automatic investment, no first step. It's a little like Peter Parker in Spider-Man, Homecoming before he learns responsibility. He's got the suit, the power, the potential, but he's still figuring out how to actually use it. Smart people often sit in that almost starting phase for years without realizing it. One of the most powerful money habits to break that cycle is something simple called the 48-hour rule. Every time someone learns a new finance tip or idea about how to make money, they must turn it into one real action within 2 days. If they hear about investing, they open a brokerage account. If they learn about budgeting, they track their spending for the next 48 hours. This tiny rule rewires financial psychology because it trains the brain to connect learning with movement instead of hesitation. And here's the crazy part, people who apply ideas quickly tend to build momentum fast. One action leads to another, opening an investment account, setting up automatic transfers, cutting one useless subscription, maybe starting a small side hustle. Suddenly personal finance stops being theory and becomes a system. But there's another hidden trap that smart people fall into right after they start taking action, and if they don't see it coming, it can freeze progress again in a completely different way. A lot of smart people don't fail because they lack financial education. They fail because they overthink every tiny decision about personal finance. They analyze budgets, compare dozens of finance tips, read endless threads about how to make money, and still hesitate. Days turn into months while they're stuck evaluating the perfect move. In financial psychology, this is called analysis paralysis, and ironically it hits intelligent people the hardest. Think about someone trying to decide how to invest their first $500. They spend weeks comparing index funds, ETFs, dividend stocks, and interest rates. It starts to look like that scene in The Good Place where Chitty can't choose anything because he's thinking about every possible consequence. Meanwhile, the opportunity quietly passes by. In personal finance, time in the market almost always beats perfect timing. That's why many wealthy people simplify their money habits dramatically. Instead of making dozens of decisions every month, they automate the most important ones. For example, saving or investing 10 to 20% of income automatically into funds like the S&P 500 removes the daily mental battle. Once the system runs itself, the brain has fewer chances to sabotage progress with overthinking. The result is surprisingly powerful. Someone earning $4,000 a month who automatically invests 15% could put away about $600 monthly. At a long-term market average near 8%, that habit could grow to over $350,000 in 20 years. But here's where another trap appears. Many smart people don't fail because they think too much. They fail because they keep waiting for the perfect strategy before building the simplest habits that actually create wealth. A lot of intelligent people believe the breakthrough in personal finance will come from the perfect strategy. They search for the best course, the ultimate investment formula, the secret method on how to make money faster than everyone else. Weeks turn into months of research, podcasts, and finance tips. But in financial psychology, waiting for the perfect plan often becomes a sophisticated way of avoiding action. You can see this pattern everywhere. Someone studies real estate investing for 6 months but never saves the first $1,000 for a down payment fund. Another person reads 5 books on stock analysis but still hasn't bought a single share. It's a bit like Tony Stark in the early Iron Man films: brilliant mind, endless upgrades, but progress only happens when he actually builds the suit and tests it in the real world. Wealth usually grows from boring money habits, not exciting strategies. One of the simplest habits is tracking every dollar for 30 days. Not guessing. Not estimating. Actually writing down where the money goes: rent, food, streaming subscriptions, late-night takeout. Most people discover they're leaking hundreds of dollars without noticing. That awareness alone can redirect $200 to $500 monthly toward investing or paying off debt. And here's the shift most people miss. Once real numbers replace assumptions, financial decisions suddenly become easier. Data replaces emotion, and personal finance becomes clearer. But even when smart people build good habits, another invisible problem still sneaks in, something that quietly destroys progress no matter how intelligent someone is. A lot of smart people believe their intelligence alone will keep their personal finance under control. They trust discipline, willpower, and good intentions to manage spending. But financial psychology shows something surprising: even brilliant people fall into the same money traps as everyone else. Lifestyle inflation creeps in, small impulse purchases stack up, and suddenly those finance tips they know so well aren't being applied in real life. Think about a character like Harvey Specter from Suits. He's sharp, confident, always 10 steps ahead in negotiations. But imagine someone like that trying to manage money purely through willpower: expensive dinners, tailored suits, spontaneous upgrades. Intelligence doesn't stop habits from forming. In personal finance, systems beat motivation almost every single time. That's why wealthy individuals often build financial guardrails instead of relying on discipline. A simple system could be 3 bank accounts: one for fixed bills, one for investing, and one for daily spending. Income arrives, and automatic transfers immediately divide the money. Suddenly, the person doesn't need to constantly decide whether to save or invest. The system quietly enforces good money habits in the background. Over time, those systems reduce decision fatigue and protect long-term wealth. Someone who automatically invests $800 a month without thinking about it could accumulate hundreds of thousands over a couple of decades. That's the power of structure over intelligence. But here's where another uncomfortable truth appears: many smart people build systems, yet they still remain stuck financially because of the type of work they rely on. A lot of intelligent people choose stability over leverage without even realizing it. They focus on doing their job better, working longer hours, solving more problems, hoping their income will naturally rise. It feels responsible, logical, and secure. But in the world of personal finance and financial psychology, trading time for money has a ceiling that even the smartest worker can't break. Think about how many characters in shows like The Office stay stuck in routines for years. They're competent, reliable, even talented, yet their income barely moves because their effort is tied directly to their hours. Meanwhile, the people who understand how to make money differently start building leverage, skills, assets, or income streams that grow even when they're not actively working. Leverage can start surprisingly small. Someone might learn a high-income skill like digital marketing, coding, or video editing and take freelance projects online. Another person might invest consistently into index funds like the S&P 500 or dividend stocks such as Coca-Cola or Johnson & Johnson. Over time, those assets begin producing income that isn't limited to a 40-hour workweek. And here's where things start getting interesting. When leverage compounds, a person's financial life begins shifting in ways most people never expect. A skill becomes a business, an investment becomes passive income, and opportunities multiply. But there's a psychological trap waiting right at this stage, one that quietly pulls many smart people back into the cycle of staying broke. A lot of smart people work incredibly hard, solve problems all day, and carry serious responsibility. After that kind of mental load, their brain starts whispering something dangerous: you deserve a reward. And just like that, personal finance takes a hit. A new gadget, an expensive dinner, a spontaneous weekend trip. In financial psychology, this is called the reward loop, and it quietly destroys even the best money habits. You can see this pattern in shows like Billions. Characters grind through intense negotiations and high-pressure decisions, and their reward becomes luxury, cars, watches, penthouses. Real life works the same way, just on a smaller scale. Someone survives a brutal work week and celebrates with spending instead of investing. Over time, those rewards eat up the money that could have built real wealth. One powerful shift in money habits is flipping the reward system. Instead of spending first, invest first. The moment income arrives, a portion automatically goes into investments like index funds tracking the S&P 500 or dividend stocks. Imagine someone earning $5,000 monthly who invests $750 right away. Over 25 years at roughly 8% annual growth, that habit could grow into more than $700,000. Then comes the new reward, watching progress instead of purchases. Seeing investments grow, debts disappear, and financial freedom get closer becomes its own motivation. That's when personal finance stops feeling like restriction and starts feeling like momentum. But there's a deeper principle about money that even intelligent people overlook, and it's been around for thousands of years. A lot of intelligent people want bigger opportunities, higher income, and faster ways on how to make money. But there's an ancient principle that quietly governs personal finance whether people notice it or not. It appears in the parable of the talents in the Gospel of Matthew. The servants who multiplied what they were given were trusted with more. The one who hid his resources out of fear ended up losing the opportunity entirely. In modern financial psychology, that principle looks like stewardship. Someone who manages $500 wisely is preparing themselves to manage $50,000 later. Think about characters like Chris Gardner in The Pursuit of Happiness. He didn't suddenly jump into wealth overnight. What changed his trajectory was discipline with small opportunities, learning, working, showing responsibility even when resources were limited. This idea shows up clearly in everyday money habits. A person who earns $3,500 a month and consistently saves 10% is proving they can handle growth. They learn budgeting, investing basics, and financial education before larger income arrives. That discipline builds the mindset needed for managing assets like index funds, real estate, or business income without losing control when the numbers get bigger. And here's the powerful twist most people miss. Wealth rarely begins with opportunity, it begins with stewardship. The ability to manage small resources responsibly creates the foundation for larger ones. But once someone understands this principle, a bigger realization starts forming. The real reason many smart people stay broke isn't intelligence at all, it's the hidden patterns connecting all these habits together. You've probably noticed something while going through this. The real problem was never intelligence. It was the invisible patterns around money habits, financial psychology, and the way everyday decisions shape personal finance over time. Remember how frustrating it felt when working harder didn't automatically lead to progress? Now you can see why. Once someone starts applying finance tips, automating systems, and acting quickly on opportunities about how to make money, the entire trajectory of their financial life begins to shift. If this opened your eyes even a little, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you don't miss the next breakdown on financial education, smarter money habits, and the psychology behind building real wealth. Because the truth is, most people never learn these principles, and that's exactly why they stay stuck in the same financial cycles for years. Now here's the important question. What will you actually do with this knowledge? Which habit are you going to change first? The 48-hour rule? Automating your investments? Building your first leveraged income stream? These aren't just ideas about personal finance, they're practical moves that can completely change how money flows in your life over the next 5, 10, or 20 years. And if you're serious about accelerating that transformation, there's a resource designed exactly for this next step. The Material Holistic Health, Nourish Your Mind, Balance Your Finances, Transform Your Life shows you step by step how to build powerful money habits, create sustainable passive income streams, eliminate destructive spending cycles, and maintain mental clarity even under financial pressure. If you want a practical roadmap for turning financial education into real-world results, click the link in the pinned comment now and start transforming your finances today. Check out the material in the pinned comment.